I'm about to share can have a huge impact on your health and fitness journey, especially when it comes to nutrition. I'm going to talk to you about changing your environment. And when I say your environment, I mean specifically your surroundings, whether that's at home, your workplace, or in a social setting. By creating a supportive environment, you can make healthier choices, more straightforward, and just more natural. In fact, changing your environment is one of the simplest things that you can do to create new habits. First up, let's discuss how you can set up your home, your work environment, and social environments for success. So I'm going to start with home. Let's start with the home. Okay, so I'm going to start in the kitchen. Keep healthy snacks, so fruit and nuts and the like, within easy reach and visible. If you can see them, you're far more likely to grab them. I had a client previously who would buy loads of fruit, but they would keep it in the fridge and it was very much out of sight and out of mind. Whereas actually, if you have fruit available and easily to hand, then you're far more likely to just pick it up and eat it. For example, I am sat in my kitchen at the moment, and on our kitchen table, there is a fruit bowl next to me. And when I am working in here, I will basically just pick up and munch through, there's the bananas. I will pick up and munch my way through a couple of pieces of fruit whilst I'm working. If they were hidden away, I probably wouldn't touch them. On the flip side, the reverse of that is kind of hiding those tempting treats away, making them less visible, because the less visible they are, the less likely you are to reach for them. So it's like out of sight, out of mind, but the other way around. I had a client who had a lovely glass kind of Kilner jar that they would keep biscuits in, and it was next to the kettle. So what would happen every time they made a cup of tea, the biscuits would be there going, eat me. And just simply by removing them and putting them somewhere else in a cupboard, out of sight, it helps to reduce her biscuit intake, changing your environment. Also at home, meal prepping can be a game changer as well. And you might go, what has this got to do with the environment? Well, it's all about just making it as easy as possible for yourself to make healthier choices and have healthier options. So if you've got those healthy meals ready to go, and you've got things in your store cupboard that enable you to make healthy meals really quickly, then you haven't really got an excuse for not doing that. It means that you can just whip something up really, really easily. And then it's so much easier to resist the temptation of eating something that's relatively unhealthy or having takeout. I have some store cupboard staples that I know I can whip something that is healthy, that is balanced, and that is really quick to do just from store cupboard essentials. So working out what works for you and having those ready to hand is another key part of changing your environment and setting yourself up for success. Now, let's talk about work. Lots of us work from home, and sitting in the kitchen can actually be a bit of a dangerous spot for us, which is why having fruit and veg next to you and less healthy snacks hidden away can be a bit of a game changer. But also, if you don't work from home, what are the ways that you can change the environment in an office or similar? Very simply, bring in healthy snacks with you. That way, you're not forced into kind of going and finding the vending machine or popping down to the corner shop when you are feeling hungry in that kind of afternoon slump. Take that fruit and veg with you. When I lost a lot of weight, I used to, every Monday morning, the first thing I would do was go to the supermarket that was over the road from the office, and I would buy a load of fruit and veg, and I would have that in a container that would sit on my desk. Very similar to what I do now in terms of having the fruit bowl in the kitchen. And that meant that I wasn't nipping downstairs to the cafe to go and get a couple of rounds of toast at kind of 3 in the afternoon. I'd grab a piece of fruit instead. So take those snacks with you. Additionally, look for ways to move throughout your day, especially if you're kind of quite desk bound. It might be that you consider a standing desk if that's an opportunity, or just look for ways to move and to take short breaks to be able to stretch. When I worked in an office, I used to take the long route to the kitchen. Rather than kind of doing one side of a square, I would do 3 sides of a square instead. Now, that might sound a little bit daft, but There were a couple of reasons it worked. I chatted to people on the way, so it was great from a relationship building perspective, but also it just meant I got some extra steps in. And when you're relatively inactive in an office, though, all of those little steps really do start to add up. And then in social situations, how can you change the environment that you find yourself in a social situation? My biggest tip here is, if you're eating out, is check the menu online. So this is all about not being faced with a menu when you are in a restaurant, surrounded by a group of friends, and finding yourself just automatically falling into the, I haven't really looked at it, I'm going to pop my finger on something and I'm going to go for that. Or getting caught up in conversation and then going, oh yeah, I'll just have whatever they're having. Have a look at the menu online before you go and have an idea in your head of what it is that you are going to be opting for. This changes the environment that you find yourself in, and it gives you the opportunity to plan healthier choices before. It means you don't need to pick up the menu and peruse it. You have changed the environment and the situation in that way. You're prepared, you're good to go, you are ready, you are going to make a choice that aligns with your goals. And another way of changing your environment in social situations is communicating your goals with friends and with family. Having their support can make all the difference in those situations, and they might even join you in making healthier choices when you are eating out with them. Now, next, let's move on to removing triggers, those things that perennially kind of trip you up, and introducing really supportive cues in your environment. We'll start with identifying triggers. So I just want you to take a moment to think about what usually tempts you to overeat or skip a workout as examples. You've got certain foods that are on display and really visible to you that kind of just tempt you into eating them. Or maybe the couch is just too comfy to get up from at the end of a day. Write those triggers down. What are the triggers that usually tempt you, but in a negative way? And then think about strategies to either remove them or deal with them in a different way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get you to hit pause now and write those triggers down. Just spend 5 minutes doing it. Have a little think, have a little look around where you are right now, and think about what those triggers are that tempt you in a direction you don't want to go in. Next, we're going to think about introducing supportive cues. These are the positive cues that you can add into your environment that are going to encourage you to behave in a different way. For example, it could be keeping your workout clothes by the door as a visual reminder to get moving, or having your trainers by the door, knowing that you're going to pop them on and go for a walk. You could also put up, I suppose, motivational quotes or reminders or pictures of your fitness goals in places that you look at regularly. So it might be the inside of the cupboard in the bathroom that you kind of open each morning to brush your teeth, or it might be inside kitchen cupboards, things like that. So maybe where you keep the biscuits, open it, remind yourself that you're not going to have those, or you've set a limit on them. Just add in those supportive cues in ways that are going to help you on your journey and help you with the goals that you've got and the things that you want to either add in or remove. And the final thing is creating a routine. Building routines around those supportive cues are really, really important. So trying to schedule workouts like appointments that you can't miss. So putting them in your diary. If these are at-home workouts, block out the time. Things that get managed happen. The things that don't get managed tend not to. Something in the diary is far more likely to happen than if it isn't in the diary. And then if you don't do it, you are making an active choice not to do something. By setting up your spaces for success, by removing triggers, by including supportive cues, you can create an environment that encourages really positive, healthier choices. Let me know what your triggers were that you wrote down. You can message them through to me, and then we can chat about how you might be able to remove them, or how you might be able to deal with them in a healthier way. Send them through to me. Let's open up that conversation about them, because these are the little things that you can do that can have a big impact. It might be that we uncover something that on the surface feels like quite a small, insignificant thing, but in reality is a massive cog to turn for you.